the shorter version of my story. To anyone who hasn't came across it, of me being diagnosed with HIV, syphilis, herpes, trichomoniasis, and chlamydia in October of 2020. Okay, so me and my ex, we met on a dating app, and he immediately told me up front that he was HIV undetectable. Meaning, he took his medicine as prescribed, the way the doctor prescribed it to him, which his medicine was one pill once a day, every day. And because of he was taking that pill, from what he told me, he's undetectable, meaning that the pill lowered the chances of him passing the disease through sex or through blood because he's been taking it. So I respected him a lot more and did not judge him because of the fact that he opened up to me about his status. Because most people don't do that. And of course, we were both on drugs. I was on my choice of drug. He was on his. And we did not judge each other. I was going through so much in 2020 with the people that I was staying with, and he was like an outlet for me. He really was. And I did fall in love with him. So after those 2 months of talking, we decided to meet up and get a hotel. And we got the room for 4 days. And of course, we had sex an exuberant amount of times. I would be lying if I gave you a number. So with that being said, the 4th day, the last day that we were supposed to check out, he left before I woke up. I found it quite strange, but I didn't think nothing of it. Of course, he had an alibi and an excuse of why he left. So all I can say, you guys, is that in the beginning, I started seeing small symptoms like bumps here and there. But as a month went by, the symptoms started showing to where even my parents could see them. Especially on my face. I had dark spots from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I had bumps from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I had sores in certain areas of my body. My tonsils and my glands were swollen. My tongue was swollen. My mouth had sores, blotches, and bumps on the inside of it. My genital area was swollen. I had bumps all down there in my whole overall area. My genital area was swollen. My private part was swollen. I had reddish looking bumps, greenish looking bumps that were pussy, looking like they were boiling. And I also had a discharge. And I'm not being funny, like a spoiled seafood boil that's been sitting in a trash can for like a week. So,
And you saying this to us, why? Like you're spreading awareness, why? And we supposed to feel sorry for you, why? He told you he had HIV and he was taking the medicine for it. Yet, I was going through stuff. We rented a hotel for 4 days and you went in there and got everything he was given. You knew it. Now, it's not right. I don't know what he thought he was walking into, having sex and everything else that you could have with this man, and not thinking he was going to walk away without nothing. He ghosts you because not only did he have HIV, he had everything. He had the Thundercat. He had the syphilis. He had the this. He had everything. Chlamydia. I don't even know what that other shit is. Herpes. And you went through every daggone outbreak within a month. And your body went through it. It's not that I don't think that it's messed up that this happened to you. But you went into it willingly. You went on a love binge with this man. And you know he was infected. And, you may have let your guard down because you felt like this person was being honest with you. You confided in them. You was gullible. You was going through some stuff in your life. It don't matter. Like, you don't play. It's right there. It's some accountability in it, but like, I gotta watch the whole video because I know it's not like you want us to feel sorry for you. You're trying to put a face on it. You know who it was. Like, the only awareness you could spread is, hey, if somebody say they got it, they got it. Don't sleep with them. And like, that's a no-brainer right there. We shouldn't have to spread awareness for that. We don't need to spread awareness for 1+1 is 2. Let me just watch it.
I eventually didn't have a choice but to go to the clinic. And when I went to the clinic, I talked to my ex before I got in the clinic. And after I did my test and everything, the doctor told me that it was HIV, syphilis, herpes, trichomoniasis, and chlamydia, giving me medicines to take before I leave to help clear up the chlamydia and the trichomoniasis. So I was so baffled and so traumatized by the news that I called my ex when I got outside the clinic, only to find out that he blocked me from calling him, texting him, Facebook, Messenger, Snapchat, TikTok, and I think we were also on an app called Kick. I could no longer have access to this man. And from that day in October of 2020 till this day, 4 years later, I have not heard from or seen this man or anything.
So you ever notice, like, when people be in these different type of relationships, right? Is a exposed thing, right? Because it can't be because he had the disease, right? But it is because he had the disease, because he gave you a little bit more than what he told you he had, right? But it's the fact that the exposure come after, you're comfortable in your skin 4 years later living with all this stuff, right? Unfortunately. And that is sad, right? But the exposure really comes because he blocked you. He didn't want to deal with you for whatever reason. I'm not saying this guy is right. No, he should be. I can't say. You know what I mean? Because ain't no telling how many people he out here just giving it away to. But with you, he told you. He told you. And you still willingly went into it. But you notice in these relationships, when things don't work out with them in a little secret or whatever, whether it's a DL guy or whatever, and then like they expose him to try to shame him. And to a certain degree, that is an element here. Even though, it's foul what he did. It is. But like, I don't get the 4 year later video trying to expose him. Unless you're trying to spread. It's like you should have been, I don't know. Like, it don't, like, people was making videos 4 years ago. Why now? Is it for attention? Or is it that you got ghosts or you found out he messing with somebody else? And if that was the case, you could reach out to that person directly. Because what he did to you was foul, but at the same time, you went into it willingly. Maybe I might be on the wrong side of this topic. My angle may be off, but like, dude, you walked into it willingly. Like,
so my overall purpose of sharing my story,
okay, here we go,
is to get you guys to see, to please stay protected, get tested, and know your status.
Yes, you're absolutely right. The My Chart, have that. You're right. If you out there loose as a goose. But if somebody tell you they're HIV positive, what you don't do is go spend a weekend with them in a hotel and have all kinds of sex with them. 2 years though, you're breaking out in your butt, in your mouth, in your throat, in your genitals. And it's not funny, and it's not no slight against him, but you went willingly. Like, it's to that. Like, it's just, you making this because you want some attention.
Of course, I'm going to have people that come across me that wants to judge me and ask me questions like, why would you sleep with someone that told you their status? Why would you sleep with someone without knowing their status?
What the? Is that the nope? Tomato, apples and oranges. 2 different things. You have a point, but there's no justification for you knowingly sleeping with somebody with HIV. Nope. Can't spin this one. Nope. No gaslighting this one, buddy.
And before anyone judges me, which I know a lot of you probably will, I took accountability, responsibility, initiative, and ownership for my actions, which is why I have peace within my situation, because I gave it to God and let...
No, you can't give it to God. He gave it to you. Because you was stupid enough to have sex with somebody with the death. That up until recently, not that long ago, maybe 10 years ago, that you could actually live with it, 20 years, whatever. But recently, fairly recently, that you would willingly have sex with somebody where 20 years ago you probably would die. It would turn to AIDS. And you would die. But you know what? The fact that somebody could tell you that they got HIV and they don't scare you YNs. Like that don't scare you. And you don't want to look at people the wrong way because there's a lot of ways you could get it. Some people could get it, be born with it. It could be a faulty needle at the hospital that something get clumped up right and they used it and then it's just a lot of ways you could get it, right? Maybe not so much the needle situation at the hospital because they do have ways that they properly expose of needles, right? But however, someone can end up with it without it necessarily being a fault. So we're not gonna, paint with a broad brush and just to be a certain way about it, right? We're not gonna do that. Because it's people in relationships where they got dating sites where two people living a healthy lifestyle, however which way they got it, in their relationships, and can't nobody get hurt, right? They can't affect other people or whatever, right? But you said, how do people sleep with people not knowing their status? How do you sleep with somebody unprotected knowing their status?
I handle it. And before anyone says anything, syphilis is curable.
Nigga, the other shit ain't. It ain't. The rest of it ain't. And you know what? I'm looking at the comments and people, everybody got giving their little stories and they spills or whatever, right? And and I ain't trying to drag on y'all. He gotta live with that. That's enough punishment in itself. But you put it out there, so now I'm making commentary. So you can't say don't judge me, right? But like the shit that he gave you is forever. Fuck this shit, nigga. They don't even matter. Now y'all gonna be meeting at each other. You gonna run into him at the pharmacy, getting a refill, putting your prescription there. Nah, just stop doing dumb stuff. Like you was dumb. You was a dummy. And I've done dumb stuff in my life, and I was a dummy. Like now you're the dummy. And for clicks and views, you're being a dummy. Over a million. I hope you're getting paid for this. Because like it's a dumb story. You was a dummy. And it's sad it happened to you. But
the reason I say I live with it is just to spread the extra awareness and education, okay? When syphilis goes untreated for a certain amount of time, the pathogens from it will lie as dormant in your bloodstream. So this is a shorter version of my story. I hope everyone tunes in. I hope everyone listens. I hope this video can help you, educate you, inspire you, motivate you to go to the clinic and, stay protected and spread the awareness, you guys. Y'all are more than likely to follow, share, like, repost, comment. I thank each and every one of you. Y'all have a blessed day.
Yo, and no disrespect to you, yo. I'm just reacting to the situation. No disrespect to you, and I wish you well, right? But this shit sound like back in the day when when AIDS was going all crazy and they was trying to get people, they was giving out needles, right? So they wouldn't reuse needles to be sharing needles and be giving this shit to each other, right? Different shit. And here, in this information age, we got more technology in our hand than what it took for people to get to the moon, right? And back. Right? We know better. No. You don't. And there's no disrespect to people that's walking and living a good life that's infected. But you don't knowingly do that. I just don't understand what you thought was going to happen. Whatever, yo. Like, I hope that you have a awesome life and you live it to the fullest. I'm glad that we live in an advanced society where people can live with things 20 years ago would kill them, I know we got a cure, but the way the pharmaceuticals work, We just want to treat you. We don't want to cure you. So I'm pretty sure if he had the money, he could get a cure. I'm sad that happened to you. I hope that I hope that you could just put his face out there so people can know. That would help the story. And people, don't be loose out here. He had a good point. Like, I know it's kind of risky, you trying to lay with a woman, you laying your game down and trying to get her over, and did 2 dates or whatever. But I think a realistic conversation in the scary world when people out there is to say, hey, can I see your mind chart? Let's both go get checked out together. Or just don't, hey, get real close and cool to it so we can have the sex conversation rather than it just happening. And we had a conversation and we want to be safe. Let's just go get checked out because you don't know what can happen. Anything can happen. That's grown-up shit. That's what grown-ups do. You just don't fall and my dick end up in your pussy. And you're pregnant or you got a disease forever. So we got to be grown-ups, man. And it's unfortunate that this happened to this brother. And we just got to think and use our brain. Common sense ain't too common.